Remember that time when we were all 13 and we said, "It's not a phase, mum, it's who I am," and we swept our hair and then dramatically wished that we were the little girl from Texas in that One Pierce the Veil song? Well, bitch, it's time to do that shit again because we've got the emo equivalent to Fyre Festival. So I've seen this going around quite a lot recently, and I thought I'd share my reaction to it because, hi, my name's Beth. I filmed a little TikTok the other day talking about my thoughts and predictions for When We Were Young Festival because I study event management, and as of today, literally today, I had to submit my assignment for a festival plan that I created, and the main focus point for that was integration with safety and disability within like a live music setting. So needless to say, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. We start off by saying, the fact people are already comparing this to Fyre Festival, you know it's not going to be great. So we're gonna talk about why this maybe is. Firstly, I have seen a post circulating, I'll pop it somewhere, with the estimated times for all the bands, and obviously if you have seen the lineup you will probably have been mistaken at some point thinking it was one of those Tumblr, Instagram things being like, "Oh, find your favourite bands and comment in the section so we can make friends," kind of things, you know? Or it's like, if you're a real emo, you listen to this band, whoa, one of those kind of things. But it's not, it's the official lineup. You've got likes of legends like Alkaline Trio, My Chemical Romance, Paramore, and then you have more kind of pop punk bands like State Champs, I believe Knuckle Puck are playing. You have a very diverse range of like your genre of emo, from like your classics to your pop punk, to your standard rock, to your heavier rock, you know? It's like the holy emo trinity minus Fall Out Boy. Okay, well no, because Panic's not playing either. So really it's just MCR. Worked out approximately that there are going to be 3 stages hosting, I believe it was almost 80 bands over the space of one day, which is disgusting in itself because there is no way in fucking hell that's gonna work. There are simply too many bands, too much clashing, and not enough time to transition between bands safely. So what I mean by this is, if you've ever been to a concert, you probably would have seen the support act, and then after that there would have been like maybe 15 to half an hour minutes where you're chilling and you just see people walking on and off with different sets and different items like guitars, drum set, that kind of stuff, with like where they're just updating the PA system and getting everything ready for the main act or the following act. And judging by the caliber of like the artists, there's going to be a lot of variety of what you can expect on stage and instrument wise as well, especially like with the diversity of emo music, which I guess you could also call rock music. Like that's the official name, but for the sake of the fandom we're going to call it emo music because let's be honest, this is Warped Tour on steroids but condensed. Asked for, this is the powder milk equivalent of a concert. Is it gonna work? No. Does anybody like it? No. Is it there for convenience? Yes. We need to talk about the price. Price is $250, I believe, dollars for a single day ticket, which is a lot, but I've also seen reports of there being a cabana, which is like luxury living, which again is very reminiscent of Fyre Festival. If you guys watch the documentary, you'll know there was a whole section about how they promised these luxury villas for people to stay in, and in reality they look like tents for a refugee camp. This again, I haven't been able to find the provider for the actual like glamping section, but here in the UK we have Download Festival, which offers the same thing. You get glamping as a premium in Bell tents, and I believe prices for that start at about $1,000, but included in that you get 4 days pass for Download Festival. You also get like special perks like access to cool nice showers, hangouts, exclusive sets, better food, you know, because you're camping, so you pay for the premium. But from what I've seen with this cabana, with it being almost quadruple the price of 12k, like I know I said 1k previously, but I believe it may be closer to 2k, but for the fact that people are going to be paying up to 12k for a single day festival, that does not sit right with me. I don't understand as a premium how it could cost that much. That is more expensive than any holiday I think I have ever been on in my entire life. I just don't agree with it. Looking at it from an event management point, it's not safe. Like, obviously this event is going to sell out. There are going to be people who aren't going to do their research, who, I'm not saying are uneducated, but I think when it comes to a new festival, you need to really look into who's providing it, because a few months ago, obviously we had Astroworld. I believe that was back in October, November, could be wrong. And that was awful. Like, people lost their lives. Nobody should go to a concert worrying that they're not going to make it home to their families. And that was not purely down to Travis Scott. Well, I do blame him, definitely, in part. It was also down to the promoters, which are Live Nation. So I need to talk about this a little bit. Promoters and event managers are two different things. The event managers are the people who physically make the event, and will probably go to the promoter and be like, hey, I want to put this event on, here are my ideas, where do you think is appropriate? And then the promoters will provide information and then, like the name suggests, promote that. And I don't know, I haven't seen any plans for the actual festival itself, but judging by the fact that they signed off on the idea to have it as a 3-day festival with this many bands is a huge red flag. Like, I don't understand. The Instagram post that has recently come out stated that there would be several smaller stages with music playing throughout, but even then I feel like having so many clashing bands at the same time is just not going to work. There are going to be so many people rushing around going to see this band, that band, that band and this band that it's just going to be chaos. My throat hurts already. Dude, this is a big rant. It is 2:30 right now. I submitted my work at like 6 p.m. and fell straight asleep. This is how stressed this fucking festival has me, like. But yeah, I haven't seen the plans for the actual festival grounds. What will probably happen is they'll announce where it is, or they might have already done that, and then a few weeks before they'll announce where the actual thing is. And I've seen a lot of speculation online, especially TikTok, that the reason they've announced so many bands is because they're predicting the majority of them to drop out, which that's not how it works, okay? The way booking traditionally works is you will get a payment fee. It will take months and months and months and months, possibly even years, from what I have witnessed, like from my lecturers and what I have been told about the industry. It can take almost years to get bands that you want to sign off on a festival and a concert, for example, like Warped Tour. The reason Warped Tour worked so well is because smaller bands would work their way through, start off on small stages, and then work their way up to main stage. That's why that shit worked, and it grew a reputation for bringing up, you know, smaller bands into bigger bands. Like previously mentioned, bands like State Champs. State Champs really thrived throughout Warped Tour, and they really worked. Other bands like Black Veil Brides, they were quite a small band, and then I believe every year they played Warped Tour. Same for random artists like Katy Perry. She played Warped Tour one year. I'm not saying this is the cause for her success, but it definitely helped her build a name when she had just come out with, I believe it was One of the Boys, or around that kind of very early Katy Perry rock genre pop kind of revival in the early 2000s. But the way it typically works is after you have made that initial agreement, you will sign off on the paperwork, get all the agreements, and the fee will have been discussed already. You can expect from the event management team that they will provide you with a deposit typically, and then you can expect the rest of the money after the show, because during the show what the promoter will typically do is they will calculate how much revenue they have made, judging by like their incoming amounts, so through tickets, merch, all of that kind of stuff, and then take away like the flat fees, how much everything costs, you know, and then they'll be left with their gross income, gross total amount. And then from that will then get sent off to the artists. But traditionally, places like Live Nation and Ticketmaster won't give you the physical money until up to 14 days after the concert, which is great. Like, that makes sense. Like, of course, your concert's not a success. You can have a few days to kind of estimate where you're going to get the rest of the money from. But in terms of this festival specifically and the caliber of it, I feel like we're going to see some lawsuits coming out, because I can tell you for a fact now, the bands that have been listed are not cheap. I can't personally say what I have seen, because I have seen some very secret stuff about some of the leading festivals in the UK. But the bands listed are easily over 100k. Like, individual bands. I'm not going to name the band specifically, but there is one band that we have been told has been, so our lecturer has been trying to get this one specific band to play and has been told absolutely no, don't do it, because their flat fee is 100k minimum for a half an hour set. This band is not even the headliner. This is one of the, like, so I believe the way it, like, they've kind of formatted the poster is in like a T shape, so they've got Paramore, MCR, and then they've got like the middle section with the bigger bands and then smaller ones either side, and somewhere on that poster is the band I specifically am referring to, which means the bands like Paramore and MCR, who are the headliners, they're going to be earning a hell of a lot more than what this one smaller band is. And then if you like work that out between the 79 other bands, the price for it's going to be astronomical, which again kind of results with the ticket price. But you're going to see like maybe 45 minutes of a full set if you're lucky, judging by the fact that it opens at 12, I believe it opens at like 10 a.m. and then runs till 12 a.m. That's not going to work. I'm not sure about like sound limitations and stuff, but here in the UK we have very strict regulations and rules, which basically states if it gets past, I believe it's 11 p.m, live music needs to stop, like it needs to be gone due to local council and like surrounding buildings. But if it is EDM or techno or anything like DJ related, that can go on till 4 a.m, which by looking at the lineup, that is not something that they are going to kind of abide by. And I'm not sure if the same applies because this is in Vegas, where everything is a bit livelier, and you know, the whole what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of mentality. I'm not sure, I haven't looked into American regulation. What I'm saying is not to be taken as gospel. It's just from what I have already learned in my 6 months studying event management at degree level and learning the like safety and regulations that I have, I don't think this festival is going to be safe nor sustainable. I think if you go, you are gonna have a great time. I recently did a research paper on TanaCon, which was the YouTube convention that took place a few years ago with Tana Mongoose, and talking about how the tickets like didn't match up to the total attendance and how people arrived to a place that was too small and couldn't handle the amount of people expected and the capacity, and how people were just not having a good time. Like, don't get me wrong, this festival is every emo's wet dream. Like, you've probably sat with your little emo buds in a little circle somewhere, probably in the corner of like a drama room specifically, or like an acting classroom, and you've all been thinking, oh my god, like we should have a festival, oh my god, we should have MCR, oh my god, you know. It's like if Kerrang threw up on you, this is the festival you'd be left with. So for now, I say, everybody grab your monsters and let's just fucking sit back and watch what happens. There is no doubt this event is gonna sell out, which kind of sucks because like, you can just see it's not gonna work. And I'm aware people are gonna go and make videos about it and be like, this is what happened there. But just by judging from the way it looks, I don't think this is going to be a very successful festival, not taking into account things like disability and how that's going to work, because traditionally festivals need to have some sort of policy in place for people with disabilities, which means they'll still be able to see the festival and have just as good a time as able-bodied people. Because integrating disability into festivals is something I honestly care very passionately about, and yeah. I feel like as well, the fact that it's in Vegas is interesting because I'm not sure if there's been, aside from, like, no major festivals come to mind. I'm sure I'm missing out on something really obvious, but the reason things like Coachella work is because Coachella was based originally in a polo field and then grew from there. The reason this isn't going to work is because this is a single year festival. There has never been anything to this genre, to this extent, on a single day festival. This is a baby festival. Chances are Live Nation as a promotion company, as we know, they are very reputable, need it be good or bad, but the event management team probably doesn't have the best reputation or connections with the venue. Like, it's one thing to say, oh hey, I want to throw a festival here, but then it's another thing to go, hey, what is the likelihood that this will be successful? Like, what is the capacity? What will make this ethical? How will this be sustainable? And I'm not saying the organisers are doing this purely for monetary gain. Being a promoter, being in event management, it's huge win or lose. You can either make huge, big bucks, or you can be left with absolutely fuck all. I have seen both sides of it. I am fully expected to make wins and losses within my future career as a promoter. Like, I am currently working as a promoter. I have one event kind of planned for this year so far, but I'm praying in a few months to get more up and going. But I simply cannot put my head around how people are gonna go to this festival and have a good and safe time. Like, I don't understand. The acts themselves, stunning. The price, pretty good, but I feel like it would have been so much better and so much safer if it was based around 2 to 3 days. Have a full weekend of a festival at the same price, which, again, like, I know it would probably bring the price up, however, you've got to consider people's safety. Like, you can't put a price on people's safety. If you are willing to go to a festival, you are paying for a good time. You are not paying to be stuck somewhere surrounded by thousands of people. No doubt that Live Nation's hopefully learnt from Astroworld, and there'll be more security precautions and ways to integrate kind of safety and well-being and have exit routes a lot more open to the public, and just taking care of its attendees better, because that's something that really bugged me about Astroworld. And I'm not saying that this festival is going to be to the same level as Astroworld. I would never compare it to that, even though I have just done that. But who knows? This video could be completely redundant in like a year's time. The festival could be amazing. It could be great. It could work. It could make a lot of money. It could make a lot of people very happy. People could see their favourite bands. But in my prediction, I expect to see some lawsuits. I'm not gonna lie. I predict they'll make their money, but there'll be a lot of people coming out saying that they weren't impressed and didn't have a good time, because it's going to be stressful. Like, no doubt you have that many people in one small area trying to run from one stage to the other, to the other, to the other. It's just going to be a bit of a shit show. And I feel like bands, especially who are going to be playing on bigger stages and playing later on in the day, they're going to have people queuing up all day, waiting in the front sections, and people who don't know the other bands playing during the day will probably get annoyed. Like, I know when I went to Reading Festival, I believe we saw Anderson .Paak, and he made some sort of comment, or I don't think he was particularly impressed that some people in like the golden circle, as they call it, like the very front circle, weren't singing along to his songs because we were waiting for I believe we were waiting for like 21 Pilots and Post Malone, you know, like the major headliners at the end of the night. And I can imagine, again, in a rock scene where everybody is very much communal based and everyone's like, yeah, we're all together, we're friends. I feel like that could be something, and we could end up with a little bit of like a Ronnie Radke situation, you know, and some microphones out in the fucking audience. That's just my prediction. If you're gonna buy tickets, please do your research, be safe. Make sure the people you're going with know the area at a minimum. Try and go like a day before or 2 days before, and find like a meeting space outside of the actual festival grounds. Keep yourself safe, and like, I don't want to say go at your own risk, because yeah, I don't want to say go at your own risk, because it's not your fault. Like, my final takeaway is this festival needs to be spread over 2 to 3 days. It's not going to work as a single day festival. There is no way in hell that the amount of bands they have, with the amount of tickets they've sold for a one-day festival, economically, this is not going to be a great event. Like, I have a figure in my head of how much the bands would cost, just judging by what I've heard from other major festival organisations and from what I have heard directly from my lecturers. I will not say that figure because I have basically been sworn to secrecy by what I have seen by my lecturers. But like, I just feel like it's not obtainable. So yeah, Let me know if you guys want a part 2. I am probably missing out a bunch of stuff. This is just things I have seen in maybe the 3 to 4 days this festival being announced. But I'm always more than happy to discuss this kind of stuff. Obviously, this is the profession I'm going into, so I know my shit. Okay. I'm gonna go to sleep now because I'm tired. That's all. Hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a rant dash reaction video to We Are Young Festival. Let me know if you want more, like I just said. Don't forget to like and subscribe, that'll be pretty cool. I promise I'll do a better lighting setup next time. It's 2 AM and I'm fucking tired. Bye. Basically bring back Warp Tour. Warp Tour worked well. Warp Tour was a good formula. Good soup, good soup. Freddie, you're supposed to be on lockdown. But Vanessa, that's how I feel about this fucking festival.